What's your name?
Caleb.
Caleb. And what class are you in?
Mr. Ouellette's
And are you taking 8th grade math or Algebra 1?
8th grade.
Okay. So what makes this class different than the other math classes you've taken?
It's a lot easier and I can work at my own pace.
You can work at your own pace. Okay. What is a typical class period like?
It's fun and educational at the same time.
What do you do when you first come in? Do you know what you have to do? Or
Yeah,
does the teacher tell you?
What we usually do is on Mondays we do our calendars. Then we get to our work, and then some people come over to Miss Gleason's room. Whoever wants to come over here.
Mm-hmm. And your work can be like what, like practice or?
Practice, warm up, and notes.
And notes. So how do you watch the notes?
You watch them on Chromebook, on your website guided, on Miss Ouellette's website guided lessons.
And so it's usually through a video?
Yeah.
And if the video doesn't help, does the teacher come over and help you
Yes.
instead? Okay. Are there a lot of opportunities for partner work, or is it mostly individual?
It depends on if you want a partner, or if you're on the same thing, you can work with the partner. But if you're not on the same thing, then you can do it, or if you're on the same thing and don't want to do it, then work with a partner, you can work by yourself.
Mm-hmm. And if someone is behind you, can you help them?
Yes.
Yeah. My last question is, do you feel like this method of teaching has made you a more independent learner?
Yeah.
Do you feel more in charge of your own education, more responsible for what you're learning?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Caleb. So what are your names?
Hannah Baker, Becca Kumgowski.
Okay. And what class are you in?
Your class,
Are you in 8th grade math or are you in Algebra 1?
8th grade math.
Okay. Are you close to being done with 8th grade math?
Yeah,
Yeah. So what happens when you're done with 8th grade math?
we move on to Algebra 1.
Yeah, even though it's not the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just keep going. What makes this class different than the other math classes you've taken?
We don't have to have you lecture us, and we can move at our own pace.
Yeah. Do you like being able to move at your own pace?
Yes.
What would you say a typical class period is like? What is the first thing you do when you come into class?
Start work.
Yeah.
Start work.
How do you know what you have to do?
The calendars that tell us, we mark our goals every month and week, and we tell ourselves what to do, and we set our goals.
And so do you have a checklist of things that you go through so you know what you did?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you find the videos helpful? And if they're not helpful, does your teacher teach you individually? What do you think?
He teaches us individually, but some of the videos can be long and some of them aren't that helpful.
Yeah. So it's not for everyone, right?
Mm.
But it gives the teacher some freedom to teach people individually rather than having them watch a video.
Mhm.
More like a traditional math class. Are there a lot of opportunities to work with a partner, or is it mostly individual?
It depends on who you are. It's like you can work with a partner, like we're practice partners. We work on everything together. Right
Mhm.
now we're not. Yeah.
Because one of you are ahead.
Yeah.
So if one of you is ahead, like you're ahead, Hannah,
Yeah.
do you help Becca out if she has questions?
Yeah, I usually. help her.
Usually, if you
Yeah.
actually pay attention to that video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think that this method of teaching has made you a more independent learner? So do you feel like you're more in charge and responsible for your own education?
100%.
Yeah.
I like it a lot better because you don't have to just sit there writing down these boring notes, staring at somebody, writing down notes, staring at somebody, writing down notes, listening to this boring teacher write messily on a whiteboard for an hour a day. You get to you can talk, you can goof off a little bit. It's a lot more independent.
Yeah. What do you think, Hannah?
Yeah, I think it's more independent. I don't like going with the class because some people are faster learners than others.
Mhm.
Some people are a little bit slower.
Yeah. So what are your names?
Jacob Somerset,
Jacob Laffey.
And what class are you taking right now?
Mr. Willett.
I'm taking Mr. Willett's math,
And is it 8th grade math or is it Algebra 1?
8th grade math.
8th grade math.
Okay. What makes this class different than the other math classes you've taken?
Well, last year and a couple years before, we didn't really have electronics in math. Like, I've used Chromebooks in math class before, but never like what Mr. Willett does. He has like an entire website set up, and I feel like that helps you learn at whatever pace you want to.
What do you think, Jacob?
I think it's cool because that you get to work at your own pace, and that other classes, like any other math class I've ever taken, you don't get to work at your own pace. We work on this for a couple weeks and like we're on to the next thing, and I might not be done with it. So it's cool that you get to work at your own pace.
What do you think a typical class period looks like?
You come in, you sit down, and you start working.
I mean, yeah, basically that. I mean, it could be a little chaotic in the beginning, but then everyone like, sort of just settles down and does their work. I mean,
Yeah. And how do you know what you're working on? Does the teacher tell you or?
well, we sort of have like this little list with like it's saying like it's sort of like a checklist that we keep. And we also have like a calendar that will help us like focus on like what we're supposed to do on what days and help us reach our goals. So.
Yeah. Do you find the videos helpful? And if they're not helpful, are there other options to learn the material? Like, will the teacher sit down with you and teach it to you instead?
I mean, sometimes the videos can be helpful, but other times I feel like I could just learn it easy in the book or something.
Mhm. So you kind of choose your own way to learn it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I use the videos a lot, and especially if I don't understand something, I'll go back to certain parts of the video and I'll rewatch the part that I don't understand.
Nice.
Useful.
That's awesome. Are there a lot of opportunities to work with a partner, or is it mostly individual work?
It's sometimes individual work, but I mean, there are places where like if you're at the same spot as another student in the class, you can work with another person on it together and like solve it together and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with him.
Do you think that this method of teaching has made you a more independent learner? Like, do you
Yeah.
feel more in charge and responsible for your own education?
Yeah.
Sort of. Yeah, no, it makes me feel like I'm taking responsibility with my learning, and that it's probably going to help me when I reach when I graduate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely very useful to be able to in charge of your own learning.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're kind of teaching yourself
Yeah.
almost?
Sort of, but at the same time, I feel like I'm getting just a little bit of help from like the videos and things like that.
Yeah. Awesome. So what are your names?
I'm Seamus Morrison.
Thomas Dewey.
And which class are you taking right now? Are you in Algebra 1 or are you in 8th grade math?
I'm
Eighth
in
grade math.
So what makes this class different than the other math classes you've taken?
Like, you can take your own time in this class. Like, you can kind of take paces and, like, you can do it on your own and see what you can do. You can get help from other teachers, and it's kind of a class to take.
What do you think, Thomas?
You go online and you just watch a video, and then you do a paper that corresponds with the video, and you can take your own time. Like, you could do a day on the notes or a day on the practice, and it's all your pace and all your time.
So what would a typical class period look like?
You do notes, and, like, you can do practice problems one day, and the next day you can go on to the next lesson, and it's just extremely helpful doing, like, that one class period of one thing.
Well, a typical day would start off with like you going into class, and then on a Monday you would see a weekly goal on the board, and then you would do your weekly goal. Actually, that's changed now to a monthly goal. So at the start of every month, you fill out a calendar and you plan each lesson, and you watch the video one day, and you can do different things on different days corresponding with what you wrote on the monthly goal.
Do you find the videos helpful? And if they're not helpful, do you have other options to learn the material? Like would the teacher sit down with you and teach it to you?
Yeah, you have those options of doing that thing. You can ask them for help, and then sometimes my teacher will come back and help me out with my own thing. Like if I say, I need help with this lesson right now, I can get help from him instead of just taking it by myself.
Well, you could look at the notes, and if you're confused, you can rewatch them, or what I do, or what I could do, is I could ask the teacher, and I've definitely seen him help out other students by writing down the problems on the board and working through the problems with the student.
And are there a lot of opportunities to work with a partner, or is it mostly individual?
There's some opportunities to work as a partner. You can, if you're in the same lesson, you can obviously help work with the partner. Like say you're in 3.4 and you can do the practice problems with them, and then you can end up doing that whole entire through the lesson and kind of just communicate between each other.
Well, I prefer to do it individually, but you can choose to work with a partner at some periods, but I mostly work individually, and most of the time, like watching notes is individual, but working practice is sometimes with a partner.
Yeah, but you like doing it individually.
I like doing it
Yeah.
individually.
Do you feel like this method of teaching has made you a more independent learner? Like, do you feel more in charge and responsible for your own education?
Yeah, I feel more responsible as a person going into high school. Like now, I feel this could spread between people, and this could help you out learning by yourself and going through the real world after high school.
Yeah, so do you feel like you're kind of teaching yourself?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Thomas?
I think this definitely makes you more responsible for your learning, because sometimes, you can get distracted by, little things while you're watching a video. So you really have to focus on the video and focus on your work and crack down and do your work and try not to get distracted. And it really makes you think that you have to really control your pace of your work and your learning, because when going into high school, they don't really accept things to be too late, so it really makes you work on time to make sure that you're all caught up.
Yeah.
What is your name?
Madison, Caitlin,
Julia,
What class are you taking?
I'm taking Algebra 2.
Algebra 1. Algebra 1.
What makes this class different from other math classes you've taken?
You do it on your own. All the lessons are online.
There's not a teacher at the front of the room, and you don't get taught in groups. The lessons are on videos.
Explain what a typical class period is like.
Well, you go in and you start working on wherever you left off last class.
Pretty much what she said, but you get your stuff, and if you're on notes, you use Chromebooks, and if you're not, you just do what you were doing last time. Yeah, and we have 3 different sections: notes, practice, and tests.
How do you know what you have to do?
Where you left off last time?
We also have a calendar, so we have everything for the month down.
Do you find the videos helpful?
For the most part, the videos have everything that you need, but if you have other questions or if you want to learn it by him teaching you, he will.
If they aren't helpful, are there other options to learn it through?
The teacher can teach you.
Are there a lot of opportunities to work with a partner, or is it mostly individual work?
We work together in everything. Obviously not tests, but we do our notes and our practices together. So yeah, there's a lot of partner work you can do. Yeah, pretty much as she said, you can help each other out on questions you don't know.
Can you get help from someone that's ahead of you?
Yes, she helps us all the time.
Do you feel like this method of teaching has made you a more independent learner? In other words, do you feel more in charge and responsible for your own education?
Well, sometimes it's hard for him to get around everybody, and if he's helping somebody and you have a question, you just have to try and figure it out.
Yeah, pretty much as she said. And you're working at your own pace, so you don't have to really wait for anything.
What makes this class different than other math classes you've taken?
They teach.
This one's online and the other one isn't.
Do you work at your own pace, or is everyone at the same spot?
We all work at our own pace. We'll work at our own paces.
How do you get the notes? Does teacher lecture the whole class, or is it individual?
Individual.
Individual. Do you find the videos helpful? If they aren't helpful, are there any other options to learn the material?
The videos are very helpful, and if it isn't, like some lessons I don't get, I can ask him and he'll teach me them on like the whiteboard instead.
Can you rewatch parts of the video to review?
Yeah. It's the rewind button.
Can you learn a different way, like reading your textbook?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alright. What's your name?
Noel?
Carter. Richard.
What class are you taking?
Algebra 1.
Algebra 1.
Algebra 1.
What makes this class different than the other math classes you've taken?
You get to go at your own pace with this one. Like, say a guy named Noah, he's super smart. He gets to go way ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, you also watch videos online about what you're supposed to be doing.
Do some partner work, so like it's not all like individual. Also, you can ask teacher questions if you're confused.
Oh, so do you work at your own pace, or is everyone at the same spot?
No, everybody works at a different pace.
Like, in our class, there's somebody like, I think there might be somebody in Unit 2, and there's somebody in Algebra 2.
So how do you get the notes? Does teacher lecture the whole class, or is it individual?
It's individual note-taking through the video.
Explain what a typical class period is like.
Well, first we go in and we grab our like Chromebooks if we need to, and we grab our calendars on which have our lesson plans on them, and we do what we need to. Some people take notes, some people do reviews, some do practices, and others take tests.
So does the teacher tell you what to do?
Not always, but like in the video, he might say, okay, do practice problems 1, 2, and 3, and then show them to me. And that's what we do usually. It's what you're supposed to do.
So how do you know what you have to do? Is it just the videos?
No, because you've got to go to the website and check what it says you need to do.
So is it different from how a typical class starts?
Yeah, usually a typical class starts with like a do now, and the teacher then talks to us, but we start out where we left off in our homework or in the last class period.
Do you find the videos helpful? If they weren't helpful, are there any other options to learn the material?
Yeah, they're usually helpful. If they're not, then you can just ask the teacher to explain something that you don't understand.
Like, for me, if, like, I watch the whole video, take the notes, and as long as I do that, I'm usually good. And if I don't, like Carter said, you just go and ask the teacher.
My name's Duncan Osmond, and I'm taking Algebra 1.
My name's Aiden Cushing, and I'm taking Algebra 1.
My name's Leo, and I'm taking 8th grade math.
Question 2. What makes this class different than any other math classes you've taken?
There's more ownership over your learning, so if you get behind, it's like your fault that you're getting behind, and you need to keep working to catch up with the other class.
Question 2. Explain what typical class period looks like.
Depending on where you are, there's different tables set up in the room for where you can work at. Like one table's notes and one table's video, and another table is tests, and that's typically in a quieter area of the room.
How do you know what you have to do?
It's all online, so wherever you are in the class, you go online, and it gives you the outline of what the class should look like.
Question 4. Do you find the videos helpful? If they aren't helpful, are there other options to learn the material? Example, does the teacher sit down with you and help you?
Yes, the teacher is always open to anyone who needs help. Like, if you need help on a test or practice or notes or anything, he's willing to come and sit down and help you. He even has his own like table designated for people who need help.
Question 5. Are there a lot of opportunities to work with a partner, or is it mostly individual work?
Most of the time you'll work with your partner as long as you're at the same table.
Is it only when you're on the same lesson?
Yeah.
Can you get help from someone that is ahead of you?
Yeah, but not for like the whole class.
Question 6. Do you feel like this method of teaching has made you more independent learner? In other words, do you feel more in charge and responsible for your own education?
Yes, you have a much higher responsibility for your learning.
Do you think this is Do you think this will help you going into high school or beyond into college?
Yes, I think it will help you because it learns that like you need to do stuff for yourself because there's not always going to be someone there to help you. You need to learn how to do things for yourself and progress at your own pace.
Question 1. What is your name? What class are you taking? 8th grade math, algebra 1, or have you moved further?
My name's Abby, and I'm taking Algebra 1.
My name's Katie, and I'm also taking Algebra 1.
What makes this class different than the other math classes you've taken?
Well, all the classes are online based. Everything is there for you, so you can do it at home at your own time and pace. It's very convenient.
Question 3. Explain what a typical class period looks like.
You come in and look at your calendar that has your daily or weekly goal, and then you work towards your goal for the rest of the week.
Question 4. Do you find the videos helpful? If they aren't helpful, are there other options to learn the material? Example, does the teacher sit down with you and help you?
The videos, in my opinion, are very helpful because he explains everything throughout the video clearly. And if you miss something, you can always move the video back so you can write down what you missed. And if you don't understand the videos, then you can ask him to teach you and he'll just sit down and teach you.
Question 5. Are there a lot of opportunities to work with a partner or is it mostly individual work?
You can do everything with a partner basically except for tests and quizzes.
Question 6. Do you feel like this method of teaching has made you a more independent learner? In other words, do you feel more in charge and responsible for your own education?
I do feel more independent as a learner because with the lessons being online and you get to go at your own pace, you as a student are responsible for your own learning. So if one day you come in, you can choose to do nothing or you can choose to actually do your work.
Do you think this will help you going into high school or beyond into college?
Yes, because it taught us how to do self-paced learning.
What is your name? What class are you taking? 8th grade math, algebra 1, or have you moved further?
My name's Hannah, and I'm taking Algebra 1.
Question 2. What makes this class different than any other math class you've taken?
So this class is a self-paced class, so you move at your own pace. It's also online, so you watch videos to take notes, and then you do a practice for it.
Question 3. Explain what a typical class period looks like.
So you come into the class, and you get what you need, then you work. On Mondays, you set a goal, and you have to meet that goal by Friday normally.
Question 4. Do you find the videos helpful? If they aren't helpful, are there other options to learn the material? Example, does the teacher sit down with you and help you?
So the videos are helpful for me, but for some people, if they're not helpful, you can either ask the teacher for help or rewind the video.
Question 5. Are there a lot of opportunities to work with a partner or is it mostly individual work?
So you can work with a partner as long as you're not fooling around getting work done. And it's not a quiz or test.
Is it only when you're on the same lesson that you can get help from someone?
Well, if you're behind someone and you ask someone else ahead of you for help, you can get help from them.
Question 6. Do you feel like this method of teaching has made you a more independent learner? In other words, do you feel more in charge and responsible for your own education?
Yeah, because if it weren't for this class, I'd most likely be failing the class.
Do you think this will help you going into high school or beyond into college?
Yes, because it's helping me manage my time better than any other class.
Question 1. What is your name? What class are you taking? 8th grade math, algebra 1, or have you moved further?
Sarah Tebow. Was taking Algebra 1 and currently am taking Algebra 2.
What makes this class different than any other math classes you've taken?
The flipped classroom setting lets you move at your own pace, so you can do your own thing at your own time, and you don't depend on the teacher.
Does the teacher lecture the whole class, or is it individual 24/7?
We can always individually learn, and the teacher can separately teach us on our own if we need help.
Explain what a typical class period is like.
I work on a laptop with my notebook.
Question 5. Are there a lot of opportunities to work with a partner, or is it mostly individual work?
I mostly work individually so I can work further and have more motivation to do my own thing.
Question 6. Do you feel like this method of teaching has made you a more independent learner? In your other words, do you feel more in charge and responsible for your own education?
If a student has more motivation, then this class is very helpful to them. However, if they don't have enough motivation to do their own thing and have enough work ethic, then probably not going to get as far, but it's more effective for students who do have motivation.
Do you think that this will help you going into high school or beyond into college?
Yes, I am in Algebra 2, which is for high school freshmen.
Question 1. What is your name? What class are you taking? 8th grade math, Algebra 1, or have you moved further?
My name is Claire McDowell and I am currently taking Algebra 1.
Question 2. What makes this class different than any other math classes you've taken?
Probably how when you get in, you get to go at your own pace and basically not have anyone else holding you back.
Question 3. Explain what a typical class period is like.
You go in, take out the materials and what you're currently working on, and you still get to hang out with friends even if they're doing other things. And then if you finish what you're doing, you simply move on to the next step.
Question 4. Do you find the videos helpful? If they aren't helpful, are there other options to learn the material? Example, does the teacher sit down with you and help you?
I personally do find the videos easy enough to understand. However, if there's a concept that I'm not getting, then Mr. Willett will sit down and help me.
Question 5. Are there a lot of opportunities to work with a partner, or is it mostly individual work?
There are a lot of opportunities to work with a partner so long as there's someone else who is on your lesson. If not, then those who are further ahead can still help you.
Question 6. Question 1. What is your name? What class are you taking? 8th grade math, Algebra 1, or have you moved further?
My name's Savannah and I am currently taking Algebra 1.
Question 2. What makes this class different than any other math classes you've taken?
It's different mostly because you get to work at your own pace.
Question 3. Explain what a typical class period is like.
Well, you come in and you get out whatever you were last working on. Some kids will be taking notes from the computer, others will be taking tests, and then others will be working on practice.
Do you find the videos helpful? If they aren't helpful, are there other options to learn the material? Example, does the teacher sit down with you and help you?
I do find them helpful, but if I don't understand anything, Mr. Willett will come and help me.
Question 5. Are there a lot of opportunities to work with a partner, or is it mostly individual work?
You do get the choice to work with a partner, but you can do it by yourself if you want to, and some things you do have to do individually, like tests.
Question 6. Do you feel like this method of teaching has made you a more independent learner? In other words, do you feel more in charge and responsible for your own education?
Definitely.
Do you think this will help you going into college or beyond into high school?
Yeah, because it really lets you learn that aspect of taking control of your own learning.
Question 1. What is your name? What class are you taking? 8th grade math, Algebra 1, or have you moved further?
My name is Scarlett and I'm taking Algebra 1.
What makes this class different than any other math classes you've taken before?
We learn most of what we learn is online and we watch videos to take notes.
Do you work at your own pace, or is everyone at the same spot?
I work at my own pace, but most people are in different spots.
Explain what a typical class period looks like.
I come in, I watch a video online, and I take notes, and then I do the textbook problems, and Mr. Willett will help me.
Do you find the videos helpful? If they aren't helpful, are there other options to learn the material? Does the teacher sit down with you and help you?
Yes, he does sometimes, but most of the things I learn is from the videos.
Are there a lot of opportunities to work with a partner, or is it mostly individual work?
You can work with a partner if you want to, but it's mostly individual for me.
Can you get help from someone who is on the same lesson or ahead of you?
Yes, you can.
Do you feel like this method of teaching has made you a more independent learner? In other words, do you feel more in charge and responsible for your own education?
Yeah, I do. I feel like it's helped me a lot.
Do you think this will help you going into high school or beyond into college?
I do, because it teaches you how to be a more independent learner.